Hello everybody and welcome back to my shed. Today we're going to be taking a little look at my first ever train set from 1989, which was the Hornby R181 Thomas the Tank Engine set. Don't run away, don't unsubscribe just yet. There it is. Exciting stuff. Okay, so before you all run away and unsubscribe from the channel thinking, oh my god, little blue engine's got to his shed, it has to be said that bear with me, just bear with me. Okay, you can go all across YouTube and see reviews on this exact set. Okay, and what I'm doing here is nothing special, nothing unusual. We're going to start off rolling back the years. Sorry. And 1989, Christmas time, unwrapping this for Christmas, and it was absolutely fantastic. Being an 80s child, and I'm sure many of my viewers possibly are, okay, you couldn't help as a kid, you couldn't avoid this little chap, you couldn't avoid this thing on the television. It's probably one of the very few kids programs that actually felt half realistic. What was its competitor? Button Moon. I think Button Moon was about as close to realism as it got. You know, a baked bean can and a funnel and some spoons that would talk to each other, you know, or Finger Mouse. That's got two meanings, surely. Anyway, yes, so Thomas the Tank Engine, for me as a child growing up in the 80s, was the thing. And it really captured the imagination. It felt like it's almost real, and you didn't have to use much of imagination to be in amongst this whole little world on the island of Sodor. And we're going to have a look at this right now. We're going to unbox it, have a quick look at it. You've seen it all before on other channels, but I'm going to show you anyway. Now, I don't know how many of these sets were sold from Hornby. I'd imagine hundreds, maybe thousands of the things, over quite a number of years. Now, I think this set ran from at least the mid-80s into about, I'd say, 1990-ish. And the reason I think that was kind of the finishing date was that in that short period of time, I've seen various pictures of different sets, and the face on Thomas changed quite a lot. I think there was 3 different versions. So the early ones had like a face which I haven't got a picture of, but I'll find one and put it over here somewhere. The one that I had was this one here. There it goes. That was the face I had on mine. It was a bit more of a rounded version than the original. Okay, and I think in 1990, according to this magazine here, the 36th edition from 1990. Okay, if I skip forward to the Thomas the Tank Engine section, you'll see that it's beautifully preserved catalogue. In this section here, this set doesn't actually exist in 1990. Okay, but Thomas has gained a much more cheeky, white, more rounded face. Okay, so I think that's pretty much this set's run from about 84, 85 to 90, around that kind of bit, I would have thought. Okay, and so it had to change its face. And so it's important. This isn't my original set, by the way. This was one I found on eBay. One of my nostalgic trips and pressed the buy it now button by mistake. But it was very important that I found the right one that I had. And this exactly is the one with the correct face. Okay, so let's have a little look and see what you got in the box back in the 80s. As you can see, it was a standard oval of track with a little siding. Also came with a decoupler and a standard controller, obviously locomotive, and various bits of rolling stock. Okay, so here we go then. Let's put these into shot. There you go. So from the back we have the R109 brake van, in the middle the R108 closed van, and the R107 open wagon. There we go, nice little selection of goods rolling stock there. Let's take them out of shot a second. So no Thomas set would be a Thomas set without Annie and Clarabelle, and here they are, look, in all their splendour and all their glory. They look absolutely brilliant, nice vibrant colours, and a real nice mixture in the set to get, like I say, the passenger service and the goods wagons as well. Only thing that concerned me slightly back in the day, I was never quite sure what was up with Annie, because look at her face, look, she doesn't seem all that chuffed to be there, does she? Let's be honest. But there we go, apart from that, yeah, all happy days. And of course, there we have the star of the show, Thomas himself. I absolutely love this. I know it's not, you know, the purists among everyone are going to say, oh, that's not how Thomas looked on the television. But to be honest with you, as a kid, I did not give a monkey's. It was bright blue with number 1 down the side, and that's all that mattered. To me, in my head, it was Thomas off the television. And yeah, brilliant. This particular example I am really, really, really happy with. It's nice and clean, hasn't been battered around too much. I would say the only things I can really find fault with, it's got a bit of paint missing off the front buffer beam and the front coupling is missing completely, but that's no big deal, and both problems are very, very easily sorted. Am I going to bother doing them? You know what, I might not. I actually think that, you know, second-hand set, it's been loved and used by someone somewhere, and I think that tells a nice tale of its life. So I'll probably leave it exactly as I've acquired it, and just enjoy it for what it is. And yeah, look at that. The colour's still nice and blue. I know a lot of these used to fade to a kind of bluey green kind of colour. This one, I don't know if it's in much use in its life, but looking at that and the condition that it's in, I'm really, really chuffed, and I think I got quite lucky with this set that I bought. So these sets can be found on eBay, and I've seen silly prices on these, ranging from about £40–45 up to asking prices of 200–250, which is just crazy. I know admittedly mine isn't absolutely spotlessly mint, but you've really got to want this a lot to pay that kind of money for it. But as it is, money I paid for it, it's a nice little trip down memory lane, nice bit of nostalgia. I know it's not for everyone, but for me it just brings back a lot of memories. I remember sitting at my grandparents' house. He used to have a video recorder. We didn't have one of them. We weren't, you know, didn't have that. My granddad had a video recorder, and he'd record the episodes on the children's telly slot. And it was a big thing. We used to go on holiday to where they lived in Hampshire, and as soon as we got in the front door, we watched a Thomas video, because it was amazing. Video recorders, and it was you'd sit there and watch episode after episode. And the funny thing was, although me and my slightly older brother were watching it, my granddad and my dad would both sit there watching it with us, and it'd be almost like total silence for, you know, probably half an hour, 3/4 an hour of how many he'd recorded in the time we hadn't seen them in that I don't know, 6 months or whatever. So yes, love him or hate him, he's got his place. Okay, I've established that. In my opinion, he's got his place, and that's my argument done. Anyway, so God, I don't know what, I'm so excited about this whole set. My plan was to get it out here and run it on the track, okay? But I think we need to do more. I think I need to have a proper celebration of this set. Now, the day this arrived, on Christmas Day, it was a really big part of my life. My mum used to get up before Sparrow Fart, bless her, you know, sort of like middle of the night, 2:30, put the turkey in, ready for its mid-afternoon serving, so a good 13 hours in the oven, charcoal turkey. Best way to do it. Concrete gravy, you know, that sort of stuff. You know, God, too rattled on. Anyway, yeah, so Christmas Day is a big thing. You wake up in the morning to the smell of Christmas dinner. And it's such good memories. I'd love to see how my parents react to seeing this again. I wonder what they can remember of that day. I think, personally, let's go and find out. Let's take it around the house. Evie can come too, pick her up from school, and we will go and set it up in the front room. Yeah, let's go and do that.
Just the king's need. It could be a puzzle.
No, not a
It's
puzzle.
not a puzzle.
It's not a puzzle.
It's better than a puzzle.
Am I capturing this moment? there we go, back in the shed, and what a lovely experience taking the Thomas set round to my parents' house. They absolutely loved it. Just unwrapping that box in front of them was quite a nice moment for me. I really enjoyed the whole thing, and for them, once they realised what they were looking at, oh my word, it set off a whole trip down memory lane for about an hour or so. You know, couldn't get away after that. It was absolutely lovely. And memories of the day when I opened it the first time round when I was 9, you know, and that morning, my dad had kept some big pieces of hardboard in the hallway overnight on Christmas Eve, and if we didn't want to run them on the carpet, the train sets, we had a piece of board each and a train set each. And Christmas morning, you know, we were upstairs with these big bits of board up the stairs, trying to carry them up there and putting them on the bedroom floor, and the train set was down. And I can remember vividly sitting inside the oval, just like Evie was, and watching Thomas go around. But back then it felt so big. Seeing it today, it looks so small. So whether the set has shrunk or Evie is just massive, I'm not quite so sure. You know, I must have been like a tiny little lad to be in the middle of that and sitting there comfortably for hours on end watching the train go around, you know. But oh, what a lovely experience. So yeah, I think we can conclude there really for me that you know, still 100% Thomas fan. You know, I absolutely love the thing. I love the whole thing about Thomas that it created for me throughout my life, and from other people as well. You know, people of that generation, like I said before, will have that wonderful memory growing up with such an iconic TV character. And without Thomas, I dare say so many of us wouldn't be doing what we're doing. And we need Thomas around. We need things like Thomas to bring children and youngsters into our hobby. They're the future of our hobby, end of the day. If there's no feeder into that hobby, then, you know, it can be really hard to gain their interest, especially, like I say, in the modern day world of computers and gadgets. It's a very tough game to crack, if you know what I mean. So we're going to leave it there. I'm going to run Thomas around here a few times more and have a cup of tea. Once again, I'd love to thank you so much for your support. Thank you for watching this video. For those who are brave enough to press the play button, I'm sure a lot of you are going to run off now and unsubscribe from us for having Thomas on their channel. How dare you? But I think it's, like I say, really important he was there. Anyway, moving on. In case anyone is around this weekend, myself and Evie are heading down to the Bluebell Railway. There is apparently a railway exhibition down there. Model U 3D are going to be there, so we might even get ourselves scanned to put on the layout. And it just looks like a nice place to go. I've never been there before, so a couple of hours drive from here. So if any of you guys are going and see us about, don't be frightened to say hello, taps on the shoulder, you know, say bonjour, and have a little chin wag. More than welcome. In the meantime, I'm going to love you and leave you. Thank you very much again for watching our random channel, and we'll see you next time around. Thank you very much.